anyways, I like to bring light not only to the funny, but to the cultural funny, So I want you guys, this is how I feel in general. You guys have an opportunity to put your culture on your back and make it relevant. I'm not saying make it your story, but I want you to live in the cultural relevance that you're in. What I mean is, this is how I feel. The Latino comedy market is bare. There's only a few comedians. Today we're going to meet one of the biggest stars in comedy, and she is Latina. Okay, so you guys will get to meet her firsthand, and it's a big deal for me. Her and I have been friends for many years, but what I want to say is she puts the Latin culture on her back. Today, you will follow her on her Instagram and watch how she moves. Everything is positive. Everything is what I call upwardly mobile. None of us are bums. None of us are in the street. None of us are, you understand? So I want you guys to recognize, those of you, whatever your culture is, because this is not specific to the Latin culture, you can embrace whatever your culture is. Put that shit in your knapsack as material and move forward. Move forward knowing that you have weapons in your bag that belong just to you and how you were brought up. How I was brought up is a mainstay in my stand-up, because I was raised by my grandmother. I believe that's very different. You understand? Even though I had a mom, my mother was a child of the 60s. She was standoffish to her own kids. She was like, raising kids, that's just not for me, yo. I'm gonna go do my thing. Mommy, te voy a dejar los nenes, okay? Stay with the kids and I'll be back soon. And soon meant when I was 17. So,
I'll be back soon.
Yeah, and so when people ask me about why do I talk about my grandmother so much, because she's been my biggest influence, not only as a mother, but as a positive role model. She didn't have to take me and my brother in, and she did in spades. Which also leaves me with this, guys. Our pain can also be something in our backpack, okay? I was raised with no dad. My father was a Vietnam veteran. Kudos to him, but he came back from Vietnam destroyed. Mentally destroyed. I mean, he just saw too much. He was there for 2 tours as an Army Ranger. And like I said, I pay nothing but respect to that part of his life. The other part of his life I can't respect, which is he disowned me. I didn't do anything to him. I was a baby. But you see how what I've done with that is, instead of writing comedy about that, I'm writing a one-man show about being a dad, yet being fatherless. You understand? And how I'm trying my best with the tools that I have, which is like the Phillips screwdriver that the tip is all stripped.
Yeah.
I'm doing my very best, but my shit ain't good. So I've made some mistakes. I've tried too hard because I didn't have a role model. My point being is, anything can be fuel in the fireplace for your warmth in comedy. Okay, anything can be your fuel. So don't shy away from the pain. Don't shy away from your personal experience. My friend Tiffany Haddish, she was a foster child, and she talks about that on stage. That must be difficult for her. The way I'm looking at it. If you watch Richard Pryor, he talks about being high on crack cocaine. When crack cocaine was new. Crack cocaine was new to the game, 79, 80. Crack cocaine hadn't even become like people were like, what is that? They thought, and here is a black man at that saying, man, that shit is calling me, man. It's calling. He gave the cocaine, he gave the pipe of voice. Again, I don't know if you guys have ever watched him do his stand-up. It's so immaculately done that he is the tutor to me and the Bernie Macs and the guys and the Eddie Murphys who have looked to him as a well of comedy goodness. Like what he's done with his pain and his trials and tribulations has been absolutely nothing but profound. And again, the Carlins, the Seinfelds, all do this when they hear Richard Pryor. And there's a reason for that, because he exposed so much of his. This is what I mean. We all have shortfalls and shortcomings and shit that's wrong with us. If you can highlight that and make that comedy, guys, I'm saying, wow. That's all I'm saying. Wow. And I know, Rob, last week you were talking about your dad. That's why I applauded you. You know what I mean? That's why me as a comedian I do this for a living. I don't do this as some kind of thing that on the side, okay? But I want you guys to, when you leave this class, and we'll at the end of this, we're going to talk about intermediate class that's going to start in January. What I want the most from you, watch comedy over the next, few weeks, man. Pick one. Pick a Wanda Sykes who writes brilliantly, dude. She writes brilliantly, and her comedy is effortless, and it's music to me. I love the way she does it. Again, I'm a fan of Chappelle, but only because Chappelle he's an organized mess. And I don't know if you know what I mean. Like, some of you have desks at your job and it's a huge mess, but you know where everything is, dude. You know where every post-it note, where every bill, where everything is. It's called an organized mess. To everyone else, it looks like clutter. To you, it looks organized. You know that here I keep all my stuff that I got to send out. Here I keep all my correspondences that came in. I was like that when I worked in an office. It looked like shit, but I knew everything was, and my secretary knew, don't touch Mark's desk because he has everything in there. So, I just want to reiterate that over the New Year's break, not so much Netflix. If you guys have Amazon or Hulu, try somebody you've never heard of, like a Jim Gaffigan, who you've never watched before. Watch these guys who are masters. Watch Sebastian Maniscalco. And you guys are going to say, holy shit, Sebastian Maniscalco, Joe Coy, and Mark Vieira really sound like they're telling the same story, because we do it in a very similar way. We have premises and setups and act outs and these punchlines that, dude, you're wiping your tears. I watch Sebastian and I laugh my ass off. I watch Joe Coy and I can't help it that his Filipino mother, who's she is the star of his show. And, Joseph, she calls him Joseph, you better do this to me tonight and don't do that. And he's hilarious. But the reason why I find him so funny is because he closes the door to his front door in his house, right, and he just allows us to watch what's going on. If there's anyone more deserving than a sitcom, is Joe Coy. We have not seen that, the Filipino family going bananas, and he is hilarious at it. So I just want you guys to just, reinvent yourselves constantly in the beginning, because you don't know who you are yet. You don't have a grasp of your voice, is my point. So as you write more and find what you really want to talk about from here, as you go on and go on and go on, you're going to embrace that intimacy. And I don't mean that in a sexual way. I mean that like I said, hey guys, come inside, I want you to see my house. That stuff's hard, man. That stuff's hard, and it takes time and maturity for William and Emil. But like I said, Chappelle started when he was 14, 15 years old, and he knew that his neighborhood and the cops messing with him and blah, blah. His point of view was so specific. I'm not sure if you ever saw the one where the cops break into the house and then pour crack cocaine on Dave Chappelle. Yeah, look what we got here. they take the crack and they put it over him. We see what you got here. This is the mind of a young Black man growing up in DC. So I just want you guys, like I said, to feel free to watch, learn, and then use that as fodder, man. Don't shy away from saying, I'm not going deep enough. I want to talk about this stuff, and then talk about it. Dino just showed up. What's up, Dino? Merry Christmas, happy holidays, brother.
Merry Christmas.
I know, look, Dino, just to recap, I was just saying that if you can just watch more comedy over the next couple weeks before we start the next, that next phase, which, just so you guys know, the intermediate class is going to look more like this. Instead of looking like me talking, it's going to look like us working. So that's all the intermediate class is now we're going to take everything that you've written and turn it into a set. What is a set? Your set is what's in your back pocket when you show up to Stand Up New York to do your first show. That is your set. Your set is all the material that you've written. I want it on a Post-it note or a 3x5 index card with just bullet points. Mom, Dad does this, Cat does that, rat under the Christmas tree, boom. And I want you to do it over and over and over, do the set over and over again. 5 minutes. So you're going to get 5 minutes, 6 minutes. You're going to sound redundant. You're going to make yourself crazy, but that material is going to grow and it's going to get better. There you go. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. And what you see, what you have, Jose, you have like everything written out. What I'm saying is when you go to the club, that shit's gonna be on a 3x5 index card, and it's gonna be like this, boom, 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 boom. Because in your mind, once you start that first sentence, you're gonna know what the second one looks like, the third one looks like, and the more you breathe, the better that's gonna sound. The better it's gonna sound. Because if you do this, your ability to connect with the audience is taken away. Okay. So I just want you guys. Did you email link? I'm sorry, that's my guess. So I'm ready. I'm ready when you guys are. Like I said, I wanted to say that up front because when we're done here today, I want to get you guys already thinking about what's next. Okay, what's next? What happens next? Why are we going on? It's because when you leave today, you won't be ready to go on stage. You'll be ready to write. You'll be ready to write more, but you won't be stage ready. And so, you can't be stage ready in 5 weeks. Even the class I took in the very beginning was about 7 or 8 weeks. And it didn't make me ready to get on stage. It got me ready to write, right? And that's what I was missing. It didn't get me ready to get on stage. But sometimes the truth is the only thing that will get you ready to get on stage is getting on stage. So even if it's just a shitty stage and the back of TGI Fridays on a Wednesday night and there's only 4 people there, even though that's hard, I still want you guys to know that that's still a stage and you got to grab those. I did that shit. I did TGI Fridays in front of kids, dude. I mean, on a crate from the bodega, like on the crate that shit comes in, that the cases of half and half cream came in, that shit said dairy on it. But there isn't I don't want you to think that I started on Comedy Central because that's untrue. I started in the beginning. I started waiting outside in front of comedy clubs for 5 minutes, freezing my ass off for 5 minutes. And sometimes they picked a name that wasn't mine and I waited out there for 2 hours for no reason at all. I had to go back home, and the best thing I can say is I wrote a lot with the other comedians that were waiting to go on. One of them is on Fox News right now. He's a like a regular consultant for Fox News. He's one of those guys. Hey, I don't care what he did with his life. He took his comedy and now he's speaking on Fox News. Good for him. I'm just saying there's so many ways to make this work for you, but it all starts with right now. You know what I mean? It starts with how we learn how to write, create, and then, the next step is how do we mature the material into 5 minutes? And if you take the advanced class, which is the next class after that, that one is creating 10. And let me tell you something about 10 minutes. If you think 5 minutes is hard, try adding 10 that has no, where you can't see the stitching in the baseball. You understand what I mean? Where all you see is the ball coming. That's what we're throwing at the audience. They don't see, we're going to throw so much heat that they don't see the stitching on the ball. They just see the ball. By the time that shit comes, it hit them already. Those are our jokes, boom, 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 boom. No lines in the middle, lots of funny in between. So with that, I want to get started, man, because again, just so you guys know, I have an incredibly wonderful guest that's going to be joining us. If we can get her the link. Caesar, you need to get her the link, Laura.
We are on that right now.
Yeah, we're sending it right now.
Okay, great. Sending right now. Okay, sending now. All right. So Jose, I'm going to leave you for the middle. So stand by. I have Tony keyed up because I don't know what Tony's doing, but Tony to me is like ready to go on stage. I even spoke about you earlier, Tony, because dude, the way you write and the way you're exhibiting and like a freedom to talk about what's happening. Like I said, once your doors close, I get an excitement. And even Laura and Caesar, we spoke and they're like, holy shit, what a difference from week 1 to where Tony started to just write, that he just started to write this stuff and how imaginative and funny it is when it comes together. Rob has been on stage, a little bit different from some of you guys. He's been up there already. It's a little bit different, Dino as well. But for those of you who are not, know that what you're doing is daring. This shit is daring, and it's hard to say, hey guys, look at me and look what's going on in my house. Look what's going on in my life. So I implore you guys to just keep that shit going, man. It's all a mental game. And everybody wish they were you once you get on stage. Everybody wishes they were you, man. I wish I could do that, I wish I could go on stage and pull my guts out. So Tony, man, I'm not even gonna waste another second. I want you to give us the week 5 all in one. Yo, if you leave one thing out, I swear to God, I'm gonna close my computer and go take a shower. So give me. I want everything. Pour that shit on the table, bro.
So Mark,
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, hold on, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Tony. Come on, Tony.
Mark, I just want to say something before we start. Go
ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I want to tell you that your story of growing up, without a dad, it rings true to a lot of us, and I appreciate you sharing that with us. And I can't wait to hear that story because I think that makes us a better parents.
Absolutely.
Like we become overprotective of our kids, and I don't want to get into that, but I really appreciate what you're doing, man. I can't wait to hear that.
Thank you.
So
I feel like it's something before you go on. I feel like the one thing that's missing that I would like to provide to the world before I'm done with comedy is a forum where men hear their voices being heard instead of being thrown to the side saying men shouldn't say that. Men shouldn't go through that. And if they are going through it, they shouldn't talk about it. You understand what I mean? Like from my divorce to not having a dad to not being raised by my grandmother. Like these are things that men are always afraid to say around men because we get shunned. We get shunned as, oh, you're a bitch, yo. Yo, man up, bro. Like, all right, nobody got a dad, like blah, blah, blah. And then they go on when that's not true. That's not the truth. So I appreciate that, man. And like I said, my job is to bring light in this dark world. A lot of men need to hear that it's okay. It's okay to feel fucked up about the fact that you don't have a dad. I know I do. You know what I mean? Tony, go ahead, man.
Sorry.
We're here for you, brother.
Sorry. So what's crazy about dating a Latina that is CSL? Having English as a second language. Every conversation turns into an English language lesson. I'm her Rosetta Stone. Even though she's lived in this country for the past 30 years, she still has trouble mastering some aspects of the English language. You know what's really weird? The first time I went to her house, she had sticky notes, Post-it notes all over the house. The sticky notes were words labeled in English. She had Post-it notes on pieces of furniture in the living room, labeled chair, sofa, table. If you go in the kitchen, you see the refrigerator, the stove, the sink. In the bathroom, you had the toilet, the shower, toothbrush. So to help her out, what I would do is I would move the Post-it notes in different places. So the sofa became the chair and the stove became the sink. When we would visit my family, it was a shit show. My mom would ask her to get something from the kitchen. Nina, get the meat out of the refrigerator. Then you would see my girl walk to the bathroom and bring back a toilet paper roll and hand it to my mom. One day we were watching sports. We were watching the Super Bowl. I'm trying to get her to stop translating Spanish words into English. We were watching the Super Bowl last year. She hears one of the players' names, Patrick Mahomes. She goes, pero, ¿quién es un Mahomes? Ay, bendito, Patrick Mahomes. I'm like, no, Mahomes. His name is Mahomes, not Mahone. And Mahone is caca or shit in Spanish. She even knows some of the different terminology in football, or so I thought. Watching the game, and she's like, taco. ¿Por qué él quiere un taco? Él tiene hambre. De verdad. Él quiere un taco. I'm like, no, Linda, tackle. He made a good tackle. Ay, bendito for me, she says. The best is when she's in the living room with our 3-year-old. They were watching Scooby-Doo. You guys know the song. Sing it with me. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? But you know what? I see them both in there, and she's like, Scooby-Dooby-Doosh, dime tú. We got some work para tú now. Scooby-Dooby-Doosh, look at you. Tú eres un doggy. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, I see you, the way you shake and shiver. Now I'm in the freaking shower and in the car singing Scooby-Dooby-Doosh. That's all I got, man.
Yo, I want you guys to know that's like 4 minutes. Right? Like this brother wrote all of that and performed all of that. It's like 4 minutes long, dude. Like,
Amazing.
That's crazy. He owes the audience a minute. You understand?
Can I add something real quick?
Go ahead.
So this just goes back to what you know with the fatherless thing.
Yeah.
So you know what's insane about having 6 baby mamas? Neither do I. I only have 4. You have to try to keep the peace with each one of them. You know, make them feel special, so they don't take your ass to court and hit you over the head with some child support. It's more like baby mama support for their hookah and beer drinking, tequila shot taking, and Uber using habits. But every Mother's Day, I send them a card, you know, to acknowledge their importance. To someone, you are number one. But to me, you will always be BM4. Happy Mother's Day.
That's gonna be big. That's gonna be big. Yo, baby mama jokes are really funny, but again, because so many comedians have baby mama jokes, you just got to be right with yours. Meaning, just keep doing what you're doing with that. Make it Tony. You know, Tony's shit. Like, you got 4 baby mama?
You said to exaggerate stuff, right?
Oh, okay. All right.
But I do.
No, you do for real?
Yes.
Yo, you see what I mean? There's a story in that story that needs to be told. I love that, dude. That's a good closer. The only thing, as Emil had pointed out before, we need to segue that so that it doesn't look like this leap from your ESL woman to like, you understand what I mean? And that's what that next class, that's what we'll work on. We got to work on getting 5 before we get 10. Right. But that's a beautiful place to be. Is, man, it wasn't like this for me before, because I've had baby mama drama for. It's hard. Look, man, right? It's hard doing what I do. I'm talking about Tony. I'm talking like Tony. It's hard for me because I wasn't always like this, kind of like, you know, with one woman. I got 3 other baby mom, like blah blah. And there's a way to make it feel like you're not jumping. Like, you know, hey, my grandmother bought me sneakers at Buster Brown's, and my next sentence is, oh, you know what I hate? I hate Donald Trump. You know, it's like, it's such a huge, it's such a big leap that you don't want to do, because then the audience is like, what? Where the hell? I thought we were just talking about his grandmother by, keep people in the line. You know what I mean? And so we just need to clean that up. That's cool. Yo, dude, great work, man. Great work. And
thanks, Mark.
The only thing I'm gonna say, one thing, this is a note for you. She calls you, instead of Rosetta Stone, she calls you Rosetta Tone. Like, that's your name. That's like what she calls you when she needs an English lesson. Mira, Rosetta Tone, ven acá, que I want to ask you, how you say, ¿cómo se dice esto? Like, you know, and then I don't know if everybody sees what I see, but I'm just going to say it. The act outs, like, it's the last one you're ever doing. So more convincing, bigger, become her. I don't know how to say it more emphatically. Make a commitment that you are her. That's it. And we're done. Great job, though, brother. Great job. Like, you're onto something. You're onto a clean 5 that's going to be hilarious, dude. Hilarious. We've heard it. It's different for us. We're listening to the notes now. We're not listening to you talk. We're listening to the pieces be put into place because we've heard it. Now it's, you know what I mean? It's jumping it to making it like this and then making that shit funny. You know, making it funny. Rosetta Tone, because that's something you can call back later. You know what I mean? When she calls you baby, and you're like, you know, baby, but tell me how to say this. And you're like, you know what I mean? And you're like, don't call me baby if you're asking me. It's Rosetta Tone, like, you know? So it's just a funny running line through the whole material. All right, I want to go with Emil next. My boy, Emil.
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Absolutely. What's up, man? Merry Christmas to you.
Oh, Merry Christmas to everyone, too. All right, do I just start?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Emil.
You want to know what's crazy? I'm pretty sure my grandmother's a hypochondriac. And let me tell you why. You know, most tell me that I'm crazy. You know, she's getting older. She's getting more diseases. You know, she's more susceptible to... No. I counted. She died 5 times last week. That's not even humanly possible. She's coming out, she'll walk out, and she tells me what diseases she has each day because they change by the minute. She comes out, she'll come out of her room with her walker and everything. Oh, Emil, oh, I feel the brain cancer in my toes. Oh, and the elbow cancer. Oh, all in my shoulder. Oh my God, oh my God. Oh, and I got the triple pneumonia. Last time I checked, there's only one type of pneumonia. How did she get triple pneumonia? It's insane to me. And the craziest part is that she heals with this X-Men type of power as if she's Wolverine, and she heals like that. Because yesterday she told me, she had the brain cancer in her toe, but then it goes away miraculously the next day, and she has something new. The brain cancer moved up the leg, up the spine, and to the ear with magic. It's amazing how it happened. And so, yeah, I think my grandmother is a hypochondriac.
Great job, brother. Great job. The way Emil's going to get the audience is by that act out being all through. Like everything he says, she argues with you, Emil. You have to make that argument. You have to make that argument come alive. You know, whenever you're going, but what's wrong with you today? She's got to have more shit. So you got to, I don't know if you guys read in the comedy Bible, comedy's in threes. So she has to have more than brain cancer in the toes. Then next week, she has emphysema in her left shoulder. You know what I mean? And then, and then she had a miscarriage. You're 84, mama. You don't have you don't even have a boyfriend. Like, you don't even have a man in your life. How you have you understand? You need to get as Dean said last week, they have to be, each one has to be more far out than the other because you want to take them on the ride with you, Emil. So that's all. That my note is, the comedy comes in threes. When you give examples, always 3. Don't give 4, don't give 5, because then the audience gets tired of your shit. You're gonna give them 3, and the third one, and it's progressive. Okay, it's cancer in her toenails. Then she had emphysema in in her earlobe, and then the last one is some crazy outrageous shit that already the audience is laughing and they're looking at each other going, "What the hell is he talking? How is she have a miscarriage? She's 84." And say that. See what I mean? When you introduce grandma, you gotta talk a little bit about her. My grandmother's 83 years old. You know what I mean? She's an old woman from such and such. Paint the picture again. Here are your opportunities to fill in the colors more vividly, right? So my grandmother's this. She's 86 years old. I used to say that. My grandmother's 84. She'd been in the United States all her life, and she still speaks with an accent. She'd rather speak Spanish than English, and blah blah blah. And then and then I would go on into the rest of the story, but it was easy for them to understand when I became her that she had this heavy accent. Mira, don't pan your cabeza. You're gonna get a ticket, you son of a bitch. And like me, Emil, you have to be able to turn that shit on and off through your joke. So my girl, she's like an X-Men. Now become her. I think I'm like Wolverine. I think because I don't die, whatever. Now you guys are having this hilarious back and forth where you're Emil and you're her. You have to watch you when you're thinking about this. Watch you on stage. Watch you performing this. Don't just look at notes. You know what I mean? Think of what you look like in the audience. And again, how to entertain them best is by becoming and doing all these hilarious things that you're explaining to us. Less explanation, more act out, less words, more funny. Boom, done deal. Fantastic job, man. We love your grandmother, by the way. And yeah, absolutely. We love you because you're normal, quote unquote, right? And you're sitting there going, how do you have emphysema in your back when you are at bingo? Like you know what I mean? You just went to the old school, old home and went to a dance. You know what I mean? You had a mask on all day. Anyways, so you see what I mean? Just play with the scenarios there and be bigger when you become her. Like I said, act outs are hard because they take incredible commitment. You heard that last week. That commitment is what makes it breathe. I'm all in with it. All right. Emil, great job, man. Great job. I'm gonna do my boy Jose, because he's been missing in action for a week. So we have to hear your voice, bro. I want you right there in the heart. Go ahead.
I'm here. Right. So I work in IT. I'm the computer guy in a corporate office, and it comes with a lot of drama. The minute that I walk into the office, all stares at me. I walk in the double doors and everyone's looking at me. So the first thing you have to do is no eye contact. You look away. You look away. Walk into my room. I got my coffee. I got my bacon, egg, and cheese. And I know they're looking for me. So I'm closing my door, turning off the light. And I'm stiff as a board. And I'm there hoping no one's going to reach out to me. The minute I turn off the light, what do I hear? Jose, Jose, my computer's not working. Again. Jose, we know you're there. We saw you. We saw you walk into the office. Yes, Shiloh, what can I help you with? So Shiloh's like, my computer's not working. I'm like, let's go to your desk. Let's take a look. So Shiloh, what did you do with your computer? Oh, I didn't do anything. Did you press the power button? No, I didn't press the power button. But Shiloh, just press it. Well, I'm not a computer genius. Yes, Shiloh, I went to Harvard School University to get a PhD to press buttons, to be a computer genius. So miraculously, she presses the button, the computer starts working. Miraculously, way, because with one question comes 2, 3, 4. So I'm walking away, I take one step. Jose, I got another question. Yes, Shiloh, what do you want? My phone don't work. Let me take a look at your work phone. Shiloh, let me take a, no, it's my personal phone. Shiloh, it's your personal phone. I can't fix it. Who's your provider? Verizon? No, it's AT&T. So then call Lily from AT&T. Maybe Lily can help you. I can't help you with your phone. Okay, thank you, Jose, thank you. So now I'm trying to run away from her because she's gonna keep me there for 45 minutes to an hour asking me dumb questions. So now I'm in the opposite side of the building. Now I have to go into my special ops military training tactics to try to get out of that area so no one asks me questions. So now I put all the makeup paint on, I put my gear on, my theme music comes on, and I'm doing flips, somersaults, hiding behind trees, making believe I'm a tree. And then I'm working my way to my room to avoid people. I go up the street, and what do I see? Shiloh again. I make a left turn, so I'm near the bathroom. I'm like, great calling, enter the bathroom. Now I'm in the bathroom and it's time to do what to do. I'm gonna do a number 2. If you don't know what that means I'm gonna go take a shit now. So I'm gonna have my time. Now there's rules when you're in the bathroom, when you're gonna take a shit. So what's the first thing that we all do? When we go to the bathroom, if there's like 7 stools, we're looking underneath the stools, seeing who's in the bathroom. Because we like to do our thing alone. So we go inside our favorite stool, which is the third one to the left. We're in. You can't sit on the toilet until we get a roll of paper, we wet it, and we wipe down the toilet seat. Once the toilet seat is wiped down, we put the little plastic bag or whatever, that bag there, we sit down. Now, you're there. It's about maybe 10, 15 minutes, you're doing your thing. Now, a guy walks into the bathroom, so you're silent. Because, that's our alone time, so I'm silent. Now, there's guide code when you're using the bathroom. So what happens is, this individual comes, and he sits right next to me in the toilet, right next to me. And guide code is, you don't sit next to somebody. You have to give space. So it's someone sitting, space, someone is sitting. So he sat next to me, pulled his pants down. So now that's a big dilemma. Because now my shit and his shit are together and cause one big ass stink bomb. And we're both wanting to vomit. Because he broke all guide code. All guide code has been broken because this guy does not want to follow the rules. So I think only about 35, 40 seconds have passed. And this dude is already pulling up his pants. I'm like, how you wipe your ass and clean your ass in 35 seconds? I've been inside this bathroom for like 15 minutes. So, all right, he pulls up. And the first thing that I do is I'm looking at his shoes and part of his pants because I need to know who this dude is because I'm going to rat him out. All my people that I work with, we can't shake his hand because this is a dirty motherfucker. So he gets out of the bathroom and I'm expecting him. I am expecting him to wash his hands at least. What do I hear? Door open, the door closed. This motherfucker left without washing his hands. So now we got a guy in the office with shitty hands. Shitty hands. So I get out of the bathroom, I clean myself, and I go. Now I was like, let me make a left to avoid people. I make a left, I make a right, and I see the guy that was in the bathroom because I recognize the shoes and the pants. It's the CEO of the company. So I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. I have a really good bond with him, and this man wants to shake my hand. And I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at his hand. I'm looking at him, I'm looking at his hand. He has his hand out, he wants to shake my hand. And I have two ways to go about this. Either I shake his hand, or I fake a heart attack on the floor, so I don't have to shake his hand, because I don't want to have shitty hands. So I was like, I'm gonna fake a heart attack, and I just decided to shake his hand. I shook his hand, he walked away, I grabbed my hand, and I started turning blue, purple, pink, because I was like, I have the shitty hands now. Run to the bathroom. I had to wash my hand 13 times, because the first 12 times, I did not believe my hand was clean. After the 13th time, I felt that my hand was clean, I felt safe, I went about my day. Thank you, that's all I got.
Way to go, brother. Way to go. Way to go. Way to go. Listen, this is the only thing I have for that set. More act outs, less dialogue.
Okay.
What you're doing is explaining the little things when we're just trying to get less chatter, more things that move the joke closer to the joke. Really? So, I'm just saying, because I counted like 5 and thens, and thens become run on to the audience, not to me. I'm the audience. So when you go, what happened was I went into my office, and then I came out of my office, and then I went back in my office, and then I went into the bathroom. The less and thens, and the more all right, there was about 5 times you went in the bathroom that didn't need to be there. You just say, I came out in the hall, my boss was there. He goes to shake my hand. I forgot to wash because of blah, blah. You know what I mean? I was on my phone. I was watching an episode of such and such. I forgot to wash my hand. Now I got shit on my, get the audience to take the ride with you without too many and thens. Because and thens will, what happens, you get comfortable telling a story with and then all your bits become and then bits, So I was, driving my car, and then, my car stopped, and then I started it again. And all of a sudden the audience is like, dude, tell me what time the joke comes in, because it then becomes, almost become the crutch for you to get to the next thing. We don't need that. We don't need any of that. We're throwing all the and thens out, and we're going straight to what's funny. What moves the funny. That's all. Great job, brother. Great job.
Thank you.
We're gonna make your job a hilarious place. I'm gonna tell you why. I want you to come into work Mission Impossible. So that's almost at the very beginning. My job is crazy. I gotta come in military. That shit's taking way too long to get to, because the funny is, once you start crawling on the floor, like in real life as an act out, dude, the audience is gonna be dying. I hate when I get to work and it's 9:01 and they're already messing with me. You can't give me the 9:50. Who starts when they get there? You understand? Come on, I'm supposed to be at work at 9. I don't start work at 9. You understand? I need at least till 10 to get into work mode. Now you're having a discovery and a debate with the audience about when you start work, because the audience is gonna be like, no, you start at 9, asshole. And you're like, I don't start at 9. I start at 10. I start at 9:46, because I need 46 minutes to get to work in my mind. You understand? I need you
I get it.
play with the audience, and how you elude your coworkers is the premise. I have to stay away from these people for the first 46 minutes. Now you're explaining 46 minutes of, I became a tree last week. You know what I mean? Yeah. You have no idea how hard it is to stand there behind one of the fake plants with mad dust on it as people go by, and they're like, we see you, Jose, and you go, I'm not Jose, I'm a tree. I want you to do that with them, and do that in front of the audience, so they see how, there's a thing, you're necessary. You understand?
Yes.
But you want to be necessary when you're ready, not when they're ready. So, and there you go. That's the dilemma. That's
Okay.
the dilemma in front of the audience. Like, I don't want to go to work and get to work. I want to go. It's like when you guys go to school. Who wants to go to school and start doing school stuff, right? No, I want to say what's up to my friend Jack. I want to say what's up to Will. Yo, did you watch the football game yesterday? Right? Nobody wants to go to school, and the second you get there, you got your. We all have that dilemma. So, dude, great job. Keep. The thing is that you're good at writing. Now we need to make you just as good at editing.
Okay.
This is the thing about comedy. You don't get to give it to somebody else to edit. You have to edit it yourself. So
Okay.
just know that this is why this shit is hard. Because once you get some good story going, now before you get on stage, you have to edit that down. You got to go, I said 97 words I didn't need. Because
Okay.
again, we're trying to keep you at 5 minutes. 5 minutes tops. And you have to have a lot of funny in that 5 minutes, and the more words you add that don't need to be there, the further away we're getting from the punchlines.
Okay. Got it.
And remember, the one thing that we need with you, more act outs, because we need your stories to be funny every maybe 10, maybe 12 seconds. We need a laugh. So
Okay.
that's why I said immediately start with, dude, I start work at 9 o'clock, my stupid ass job. And I'm an IT dude. I get it. You need me, but I don't need you. I need to get comfortable. You understand? I want you to already, when you start talking, I want you to find what's funny about literally how you get there, how you hide, how and again, more exaggeration, and again, more act outs. What's her name? What's the girl that's always looking for you?
Shyla.
Tyler?
Shyla.
If you're not, listen, you have an opportunity, Jose, and then I'm going to get off. You have an opportunity to make Shyla whoever you want. So take who she is and just push it. Yeah, that's the beauty about an act out. Tony's not going to your job and going, hey, who's Shyla, bro? Introduce me. You understand what I mean? That Shyla's who you are in your head. Be big so that so we can laugh, so that we can go, oh my God, esa Shyla una jodona, Dios mío. This Shyla is a pain in the ass, bro. Be the pain in the ass, give her an annoying voice. Oh, dang. I need you to check my computer. He just goes, Jose, can you just look at my shit? Nobody's gonna believe that you're annoyed with her. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I got it.
Make it annoying. Make the shit annoying. Like I want to take a shit. Make the shit story a part of the annoying. Maybe it's her next door, and she's like, Jose, are you shitting? Because you still haven't checked my, my hard drive. It's not all the way. You understand?
Yeah.
Instead of because the guy doesn't make a difference, and if we exaggerate and we embellish, that's what we're going to embellish to get some funny. Like I look next door and it's not even guy shoes, it's girl shoes. and then you hear the voice and everybody's like, oh my God, Shyla followed him to the bathroom and she's singing his shit just to bother him. Like oh my God, Shyla, you in the men's room? Well, this is a gender neutral bathroom.
I got it.
My dude, there's so
Let
many.
me think. Yes.
So many directions, but the point is, let's get to funny quick. Let's get
Okay.
to that's all. That's not a critique. That's just a writing thing and an editing thing. That's all. Dude, great job, man. You have a knack to want to get it done, and that shit is, like I said, that's perfect.
Excellent.
Right,
Thank you.
Now I want to, because I got heavy hitters here, so I got to bring my man William. To the stage. And William, I'm telling you, man, you have a knack at already finding that your family is funny, dude. It's going to be beautiful when we get to the 10-minute, to that 5-minute, here it is. So ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for my man, William.
Thank you, Mark. So you want to know what's crazy? My family's crazy, especially in the holidays. And since Christmas passed, I'm going to be talking about a story that happened probably a year or two ago. So we were all sitting around on the couch, normally watching the TV, and then we noticed that there was a rat under the Christmas tree with all of the ornaments. And the rat was looking around because it was all glittery and stuff, and it's oh my God, you got this for ornaments? It's so glittery. Maybe I could use that as nail polish and stuff. And everyone's freaking out because they don't know what to do. So I decided to do the obvious and give the rat a gift for itself, which is my cat named Oreo. And then it starts chasing around, and it's the scene from Speed Gonzales or Tom and Jerry, and everyone's still screaming a lot. And you want to know what I think? I think because of this, my cat is like a vampire because he wouldn't just leave the rat to die. He would like suck the blood out. There was one time that I remember that he did that before, and since we were little, my mom didn't want to like we didn't know like the circle of life yet, so she took a sock and gave it CPR over and over, trying to resurrect it.
Yo, I like the fact that the rat keeps getting gayer every time he does the rat. The rat. No, and this is like no hit on anybody who's gay or whatever. But the rat last week was just like, oh, look how nice. Oh, Christmas, que lindo. Like now this week the rat's like glitter. I love the ornament, dude. William, the cat. I mean the rat has to get gayer and gayer. I mean that's the only thing I request. Yo, by the end of it, be like, yo, I got the rat a scarf and a cat. Because the rat has a scarf on. Ay, Dios mío, pero, ay, this tree is delicious. Who's decorating? Is it you, Sandy? Did you decorate? Look, you know, this is the point. The rat can do whatever you want it to do and be whoever you want it to be. The funny shit is we have to meld in. You're not gonna tell the audience I have a story for you. You're literally gonna be like, yo, Christmas is crazy in my house. Let me tell you. Last like 2 Christmases ago, this, and you can say this is a true story. That you can do. You can definitely like prepare them for this. You know, that's actually a good comedy. It's not in the books. It's just a good thing to do with the audience to make them sit in and go, oh, well, listen, because all holiday stories are hilarious. They make movies out of holiday stories, right? So, and there's a bunch. So you're just going to do comedy in that moment. It's like, let me tell you, you know what's crazy about the holidays, especially around the holidays, it's good to relive it. That last, about 2 Christmas ago, with the tree as beautiful as, again, here you are creating the moment. With the tree as beautiful, we had an angel at the top, and you're right. And now everybody's like, oh my God, it sounds beautiful. But then right underneath was a rat sitting there with all the gifts. Dude, that's a hilarious premise, dude. It's so funny, William. And then you go and you give the rat a voice that is as gay as can be, is so funny. And like I said, this rat is getting gayer and gayer every time you told this. I'm telling you, do not lose that. Do not lose that. Like I said, in the intermediate, once we get to 5 minutes, that we're gonna learn how to tell everybody thank you so much, good night, that's my time, and bounce, or thank you, good night, you know, or whatever. We're gonna have a way to sign off when we're done with our set. We're gonna do that with 5, and when we get to 10, we're gonna do it again. You got to learn that, how to dismount. It's just a dismount. It's you guys have been great. Thank you so much. Good night, and be out. Right, and leave them with a gift of comedy, with the gift of laughter. So I'm telling you, William, man, hilarious, great job, man, great job. Again, what we need to do is, honestly, we just, you know, I always say it, right? It's his painting, and we have you're not gonna want to sign it until everyone is just looking at it like this, right? And you have us right there, dude. You have us right there. So it's all editing, it's writing, and then it's a segue into what the next 5 minutes is going to look like. This is already a good 5. Like, this is already a good 5. We just got to build it out. You know, we have to have one other family member outside of you that has something to say. I don't know who it is. That's William. This is your story. You're gonna do yeah, that, oh yeah. That's a great note. What if the cat comes to life? And what if the cat and the rat are gay? What if the cat's like, look who's here? Mira, look how nice. Yo, this little rat got glitter. It's gonna be extra delicious with the glitter on it. Anyways, I find that story incredibly funny at the bones of it. And now when you write it out, it's gonna be funny. William, great job, man. Great job, seriously. And you get to the funny quick, William. See, what's happening is some are writing better, like Jose. Jose writes well, and then I'm telling you, William just has funny at his fingertips, and it comes very quickly. You know, it just happens very fast. I'm gonna move on to I have a hard choice here. I got my boy Rob or Dino. think I'm gonna go. I know this is crazy. I know you guys are gonna say, Mark, you're crazy. I'm gonna let Dino close the show. So I'm gonna let Rob go ahead and bat cleanup because Dino's gonna headline. So ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for my boy Rob Mario. Let's go. Wait, you gotta take your mute off. Take your mute off.
Can you hear me?
Yep, there you go. Now we're on.
All right. Yo, you know what's hard? Growing up in the hood. You know what's hard and scary? Growing up in the hood with a hood family. My family was a gangster. You hear me? Straight gangster. Everybody was about either money, drugs, even prostitution. And they were all crazy and weird. Kind of like the Addams family. Can you imagine like a Latin Addams family, you know? They're dealers and they're hustlers, they're killers and they're muggers. You cross them and they'll dust you. Rojas family, do-do-do-do, click, clack, do-do-do-do, cack, cack, do-do-do-do, 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 pop, pop, gangster, straight like that. And but I'll tell you guys one thing. There was one thing that really brought us together, united at the table, something that made us feel like a close-knit family. You know what that was? Cocaine. Cocaine was the crazy glue that kept my family together. Everybody got coked up, and every holiday, that's all, they did, get coked up. The holiday that confused me the most was Thanksgiving. While they cooked that food, nobody was gonna eat. They'd be like, hey, time to eat. Everybody just freeze up like this. What? No, wrap that shit up, bro. I'll take that shit home, man, And then everybody had their own hustle, Everybody had their own hustle. Oh no, excuse me. Yeah. No. Right. There would literally be a cheese line going to the bathroom. Everybody waiting their turn to get coked up. Someone will come from straight out the bathroom from getting coked up and go straight to the end of the line. Turn around like this. Hurry up! I gotta fucking pee, bro. Yeah. So yeah, and everybody had their own hustle. Like my sister. She was the pill pusher. She was a walking pharmaceutical. I used to call her Damn Rite Aid. Because anytime you ask her, yo, you got Percocet? Damn right. Damn right I got that. I got you, Papi. You got Oxy? Damn right. I got Rock, Papi. I got you. I got Oxy. I got Roxy. I got codeine, Demerol, and Flintstone vitamins for the kids. I got it. What you need, Papi, And then, then you had my dad. Last but not least is my dad, the Rockwilder crazy fucking, Tony Montana from the Addams family, crazy ass Puerto Rican who knew nothing but the streets. He would always tell me, hey, any prison you go to, listen to me. You're going to be all right because you got my name. You're my son. You're going to be all right. Any prison. I ran them all. Rikers, Sing Sing, Comstock, Greenhaven. You're going to be all right. And my mother would be like, it'll drive her crazy. She'd be like, why are you telling him this? He's 6 years old. Hey, he's gonna be all right. I'm trying to help him. If you're gonna help him with his math. He's having trouble in school with that. Oh, okay. Pay attention, okay? There's 1,000 grams in a kilo, right? If Jimmy has 5 kilos, pay attention, and he sells 2 to Manuel at the bodega, ¿verdad? Don't say he gives 1 kilo on consignment to Jose at the barbershop. What's consignment, Papi? Well, son, consignment is when you give somebody drugs, they don't pay you, and you kill them. But we're not talking about that. Listen, that's economics. We're talking about math, okay? So 2 kilos here, 1 kilo there. How many grams does Jimmy have left? 2,000, you see? That's education. He's gonna be all right. Hey, you're gonna be all right. Thank you, guys. I'm Rob Mario.
You see what I mean? Listen, the audience is going to receive it how you receive it. When you get that cutoff, it is fantastic, dude. I'm telling you, you save your dad for last. And I'm going to tell you why that's brilliant, because you become him bigger than you become anyone else. Okay. You tell your story of, I don't know why or how, what you're doing in your mind, but it's like you want to be him. It's almost like you see him right in front of you. That's the way I am with my grandmother. So when you did the other voice, it was just a voice. It didn't have a personality. Right. You understand? And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just
got you.
That you build that. Okay, when you become, what was it, the grandmother?
No, that was my sister that sold the
Sister.
pills.
Yeah, your sister
I
is
took my grandmother out.
okay. No. Your sister's. It doesn't matter what when you become your sister on stage, you gotta be her.
Okay.
And that's what I mean. It's like you're more comfortable doing the dad voice, not as comfortable doing her voice. What I'm saying is full commitment, dude, regardless of who it is. If you become the rat in the
Right. See, I just wrote that yesterday. The sister thing.
that's fucking hilarious. Sorry.
I just wrote it yesterday.
The rat. Go ahead. Go ahead. You know, we want to see full tilt. We don't want to see you half-ass sister and full force dad.
Right. Okay.
Listen, when you're on stage, you have 5 minutes to show the people at NBC that you're worthy or you're not.
Right.
I'm
Okay.
saying to each and every one of you, if you're gonna do the act out,
Right.
you know, make that hard commitment and go hard.
Right.
You know, go hard. And I can't say that strong enough.
Yeah.
Act out is yours, guys. It is yours to own and to make big as you want. As big as you want. Do it. You know, do it. And I know on stage is different than talking into a screen. I have to do this 5 times a week. I have to do a show on Zoom. So I know the thing is to be comfortable in that commitment. That's all I'm saying for every single one of you. You know, Tony Tony, as good as you are, it can be better, right? Look, you guys can say that shit about me, and I would be like, damn, you're right. You know, like I kick myself in the ass about it. I'm like, I could do that better, and I will. And then the next time I do it. But you understand? So as we progress as a workshop and as a class, this is what it is, man. Bigger. You know, I'm just gonna say it. Do it so big, it's ridiculous. You know, and then because no one will ever pull you back from an act out. You understand? I might say you don't have to yell when you're your dad, or you don't have to yell because you have a microphone, but I still want you to be big. Right. You understand? My grandmother doesn't yell. She still seems like she's 7 feet tall and whatever. So Rob, you're absolutely fantastic, bro.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So we are my dude, honestly, the all I want to say to you before we go to my boy Dino, who's headlining the show, all I want to say to you is, from last week, from the first time to this time, the way you've edited and cleaned everything up is obvious. It's obvious. You're doing very well with taking the instruction of just, hey, dude, just, tweak it left and tweak it right and cut it so that you're good in the middle. You got to the funny real quick. We didn't have to wait a whole long time to get to the funny. So you're right there. Like you're right there with the material. And we're not changing anything. All we're doing is changing you. We're changing you as the mailman. We're changing you.
Okay.
So you're gonna wear the funny shorts when you deliver the mail.
Okay, that's cool. I'll do that.
You're better in the shorts. That's all. So there's no critique of the material. I just want you to deliver. When you deliver, the power is in how willing you are to make that full, solid commitment.
Right.
Characters, right? You only have 5 minutes, Rob, and you know that.
Yeah.
You only have 5 minutes, guys. If you don't understand how important it is to like give it everything you have in 5. Right. Look, I don't want anybody to leave me not knowing that 5 minutes is all you're gonna get. Take advantage.
I just wrote the sister part. I wrote it yesterday, so that's why it's like I just wrote it yesterday. The sister.
Yeah.
Thing.
No.
So that's why I don't know it good, like kinda. But I get you. I gotta commit to her.
I love the interaction. Who's that? Your mother or his or?
Oh, my mother about the math thing.
Your mother, yeah, with the math thing, dude. That's hilarious, right? What? Teach him math. Don't teach him about prison. Right. Be bigger. Right. Be your mom. Okay. I want to see long hair and rolos and and she's smoking and stuff. Man, but why you teach him prison? Teach him math is what he needs to be a good man.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're like, and right, and he's only 6. That's a hilarious line because it sounds like he taught it to you yesterday.
Right.
You're like, but Daddy, I'm only 6.
Right, okay. Thank you for that. That I get you. Thank you for that. That's
Rob,
good.
That is money. Okay, that is money. I love it. I love it, bro. Great job, man. Everybody. Great job. All right, and last but not least, I want everybody to please welcome to the stage. He is your headliner for the night. One of the funniest dudes that I've met. Please put your hands together for my boy Dino Pacino.
Yo, guys, can you hear me? Mark, can you hear me?
We can hear you, brother, loud and clear.
So I had an epiphany the other day. I realized that I'm really, really good at making bad decisions. And I think one of my greatest accomplishments as a bad decision is being a fun drunk. And when I say fun drunk, I mean, when I wake up the next day, I don't know if I had a good time or a bad time. All I know is I woke up butt naked and my room smells like this. That's actually happened more times than I care to admit. And I couldn't even admit to you how many times because I honestly don't know. It's a tie between my driver's license. I don't know how many times I took that test either, but I eventually passed. You know what's crazy? I blacked out so many times. I've even woke up in the hospital. 5 times to be exact. 4 times at Jamaica Hospital. 1 time, most recently, at New York Presbyterian Queens. It turns out I'm touring. The nurses must like me. They want to spread the good word. 1 time, I think they liked me a little too much. I even woke up with my hands tied to the bed. And I overheard the nurses talking. Oh, he's up. He's been a very bad boy. He was spitting all over the place. I hope I was spitting just my spit and not any other type of fluids. But yeah, I'm really good at being a bad drunk. One other thing I'm really good at is spending a lot of money on things I don't need. For example, 300 ties, 400 dress shoots, like I go out on dates. The last time I went on a date was February 6th of 2000 and never. No, I'm just playing. There was that one girl. We had a good relationship until she woke up from her coma. That ruined everything. But I gotta say, living life on the wild side can be pretty fun because I never know what I'm gonna do next. For example, I ate this stripper's coochie the other day just because. Well, I mean, coochie was in your face. And last time I checked, it's not in my face very often. So I had to take advantage. But my legs are getting pretty tired. And even though you can't see it, I usually walk with a crutch. And people like to say I use alcohol as a crutch. And I say that's obviously not true because I already have one. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Everybody give it up for Dino, man. Please give it up for Dino. Dino, that shit is hilarious, dude. You are on tour at different hospitals is really, really funny, dude. I love that. Like I love that. I don't know about the coochie and the although that's a very funny word. Listen, it's all good, hilarious. You still didn't give me any act outs.
I did a little bit. It wasn't. To me, it kind of was because I was. It wasn't physical like you, but that was me trying. Like the nurse.
We could listen.
I know it's work, but I just wanted to say. I attempted to throw it in there.
Listen, I'm not taking your attempt away. I'm saying we need bigger because
definitely.
As you act, it's gonna make your set incredibly bigger. Okay, it's just gonna make it incredibly bigger, dude. And that's not taking away from how you write. It's just adding to the characters that are around you. You know what I mean? That's all. It's a good exercise for you. You being the nurse or you being the guy. You know what I mean? Whatever. Whatever you want to do with those characters is fine. I just want you to make a commitment to the characters that you're introducing. That's all.
Yeah, like go hard with them.
Yeah. I listen. I know what holds you back, and I'm trying to release that because when you start, you're gonna have so much more fun doing comedy. You understand? Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome as a special guest for our last class of the Beginners Workshop. She was on the show Mad TV. She's been on the show Super Center a whole bunch of times. She's a internationally touring comedian. She's one of my really good friends, and you guys are absolutely in for a treat. Please help me welcome the incredibly funny Angela Johnson to our final workshop.
Hello.
What's
doing?
up,
How you
Angela?
doing?
Hey, look at this. Is everyone in Florida or are we all different places because it's virtual?
New Jersey.
Places.
New York,
New York.
The BX.
Queens.
I love this. This is fantastic. That's so cool. Well, congrats on taking a class, you guys, jumping in and testing the waters and challenging yourself, first of all, and taking a risk, because I'm sure there was some thought in your head that was like, hey, I'm funny. Hey, people tell me I'm funny, or I feel like I'm good at kind of acting things or writing a joke. And then you made the decision and signed up for this workshop and did all the work that Mark gave you. And so big ups to you guys. Like, congrats. That's really, really good.
That's so dope, man. It's so like I said, I was making a relationship to some of them the first week when they were just kind of like listening to me talk, to now in the 5th week where they're doing the talking and I get to listen. And it's such a jump to have them think at, like, you know, not like us, but in the general sense like us, where they're thinking what to do with the material and they're thinking what they want to do next with it. It makes me feel so good that they are all in. You know, Dino's my, you know, he's the toughest one because he has already a bunch of like little hangups. And so, you know, Angela has some of the best act outs in the history of act. They has like 100 million views on just her act out. So although she looks like this little thing that doesn't like kill it every time, she is a bona fide murderer. And when she gets into character, there's absolutely, I swear, there may not be anybody better because she's all in. And so I told them before that they're gonna follow you and just watch your comedy, because you know, you'll learn what the act out looks like when Angela takes a hold of a character, and then all of a sudden she's no longer Angela, she's whoever she says she is. And there's a humongous risk there, but the reward is so ridiculous, you know, when you're able to just be that and do it. So my boy Dino is we're gonna squeeze it out of this dude. Dino is the white shirt guy and
with the head.
With the head, with the full, because he also works as an operator, so he has the headset.
Let me tell you something about act outs.
Yes.
The key to an act out being successful is commitment. If you don't believe in your own act out, what makes you think the audience is going to believe you? If you're not committed to it, why are they going to commit to like following you there on this story, going down this path? Like, they have to trust you. If you're saying, watch, come with me over here, they have to trust you to come with you. And if you're kind of like, oh, I don't really know, but come with me, they'll be like, no, I'm not gonna come with you. No. You know what I mean? Like, you have to commit to your act out. And there's times too, like, I can tell if I'm in a crowd and I'm doing an act out, I can feel if they're with me or not, and I'll bail. I've bailed on act outs before because I'm like, I can already tell that you guys are not feeling this right now. And I know that the next minute of this act out, I go deeper and deeper. And if you guys are ready or not coming with me, hell no, I'm not gonna be by myself drowning. So guess what? You don't get this joke. That's what I do sometimes, because I be cheating sometimes. And I'd be like, I could tell, I know I'm gonna commit all the way, but you guys ain't feeling this. So I'm not doing this. I'm not gonna commit, because this act out takes a lot of vulnerability. And if I'm gonna be vulnerable in front of you, this is a two-way street. Like, you're not trusting me? Okay, guess what? I don't trust you either. I'm not gonna give my life to you and be so vulnerable right now. So I'm not gonna commit to this act out. So next joke, I'm moving on. But you can feel that energy in the crowd when they're right there with you and they're present and they want to hear what your next word is. They want to see what you're going to do. They would love to, they're hearing the voice that you're doing. They would love to see how would that voice react. And then you do the reaction and they're with you. Then you go deeper and deeper and you just go as far as you can with it.
Yeah, the act out, again, I've been saying that probably since last week that we've started really pushing act outs as, you know, as the big part of the set. Is if you're going to introduce somebody, become them, but make the commitment to become them. I think you missed a little bit of Rob's set Rob went and he introduced someone and did it almost like a little bit, and then he did his dad, which his dad was like, hey, don't I tell you what to do. You know, then the dad was big, and I'm like, no, you don't get, no, your mom has to be big too. Like, you know, these are all big characters, and the commitment needs to be full throttle for everybody. So if you introduce them, go hard. You know, if you introduce grandma, go hard, and then once you do your dad, which he loves doing, it's his set, but when he's doing the part of his dad, we see him. You know, we can visualize him being there. So I applaud all of them for even attempting to do these act outs, because again, there is a vulnerability in it. But you know, again, you have to be a harsh critic and say, put your foot on the gas, make a commitment, and go. You know, because the only person is going to pay off for is each and every one of you. If you know, hey, here I am, I'm on stage, and I become the rat in William's set. And the rat is as flamboyantly gay as possible. And it is hilarious. Like, it is so funny to give these inanimate objects, you know, a voice, and the voice is just all the way somewhere. And it's so funny. I love that. Yeah. So they're on big act outs, like and a lot of them are making super big commitments. And like I said, you know, I think that you're the third person from Gina to Dean that has said, man, if you're going to go, if you're going to become it, you better go all the way with it. Like, don't, because the audience can tell when you're holding back.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a difference, like when Mark talks about like go big, right? You don't need to like do it to where it's like you're not even recognizable what you're doing. It's just committing fully, go all the way in your commitment to what your character is. For instance, if your character is a grandmother and she just stands like this, you know, like she just, grandma, they hold on to right here, whatever, and maybe they say something and then back to here, whatever. Like, it's not a huge move, but she's always head tilted with a face, and there's always, I know, to something here, and she's always here, and you commit to it, and then you say whatever it is, and then you come back to, like, you give her something that is hers. Yes. That you feel like I'm talking to you like this, but then I'm here and there's grandma again. Like, whatever it is, like, you commit fully to that description that you gave your person. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Or your thing, or your, you know, like I said, or your dad, or your whomever. You know what I mean, Rob? So when you become your dad, you know, however he stands and however he's looking at you, and, you know, when he's always talking to you, look, it doesn't matter if you're the same height, he's always talking down to you. That's a funny thing that people pick up on. You know, remember, the audience is doing what you say. So if you, every time you're your dad, you're like, Dad, I'm up here. I'm 38. I'm up here. And he's still talking down to you. Let me tell you something, son. You're going to listen to me, and you're going to do this, and and if you become a hustler, I'm okay. Whatever that interaction is, make it true every time you become him, and then every time you become him, the audience is believing it, because you sell it so well. You know, you sell it so well. So I love that. And so I'm gonna leave it open, guys. Angela is here. Honestly, she said yes to this. I can't thank her enough. But if you guys have any questions, just about, remember, this is your 5th and your last beginners workshop. So now you guys honestly have graduated and moved on from that first week to the 5th week, and now you know more about the steps of how to make this work for each and every single one of you. But if you have questions for Angela, please feel free to ask her. She's here for it.
Yo, Angela, it's Dino.
Hi.
I want to say, wow, I can't believe you happen to be the guest, because I've been following you before I was even really into comedy, where I would just watch stand up just to watch it. I never really thought about me entering it, and your nail salon bit should be like
legendary,
a tutorial on how to do act outs, because that's exactly what I'm gonna study in terms of getting into that. Because when I saw you get into that, I was like, wow, like you can't even say like that's an impression. Like, I thought you were like the nail salon lady. Like it was crazy. So
You.
that's really cool.
Thank
It's
you
a-
very much. I feel like I would say to people like early on in my career, my favorite compliment that I got from people after a stand-up show, they would come up to me and they say, "You're a really good actress." And that would be my favorite compliment that I would get because I wanted to be an actress. And I was able to tell these stories and I was able to act at the same time and become these people and do the facial expressions and all the subtleties, all the little things that typically you would do in front of a camera while you're acting, and I got to do them live on stage. And of course you exaggerate them some so the whole audience can see it and feel it. But I love finding the little things, like I was saying about the grandma, how they hold, like you find something that's true.
Mhm.
And truth is always funny. So if you're saying something that's true or your face is doing something that's true, like for instance, the reason why when people do celebrity impressions, why they're so funny is because they're accurate, because it's true. Oh yeah, Robert De Niro does do that thing with his eyebrow. Oh yeah, you know what I mean? He does do that face. Like exactly, just like that. Like that's true. He does do that face. You know what I mean? When it's true, that's true. Grandmas do kind of like hold right here. That's true. Like girls do like hold their purse like with one hand or whatever it is, something that is accurate and true in your act out, I feel makes it that much more funny because it's true.
Mhm.
It's true. They do that. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Women, Mark, you do this thing when you do your women and it's so accurate, which makes it so funny. Like your inflection in your voice, and then like you do some, like you lean forward or something, you do something with your, I don't know what it is, but like you look over your shoulder or something, and girls like do that. And so it's like, yes, I believe you even more because girls do that. I believe you even more because you can imagine a dad talking down like that or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, so when you find those things that are accurate and you highlight those, it makes your act out even funnier. So thank you for recognizing that in the nail salon. It's subtle, but I feel like it's funny because it's true.
Well, what helps you get to that place? Like, if you have nerves, like to sort of like stop yourself.
From being nervous,
Yeah.
you use the energy that you have. So like I'll get nervous before I go on a show for different reasons. Like let's say I'm going to a new city that I've never performed in before, then I get nervous. Or if I know my tickets didn't sell very well for this show, then I get in my head and I'm like, oh, do these people even want to be here? Are these free tickets? Like, did they even want to come? They're forced to be here. It's gonna be weird energy. And I start putting all these things in my head that aren't even
Mhm.
true. But I start
Yeah.
putting all these things in my head. And it really just comes down to reminding yourself why you're doing what you're doing, the joy that it brings you, and the purpose. For me, I like to bring joy to others, and I'm confident in my gift to do so. So whether this audience is excited to see me, or if it's a brand new city, or if it's low ticket sales or whatever it is, I'm confident in who I am and what I bring. So you rest in that, and that's just knowing who you are and your gift that you have and being confident in yourself. But nerves will always come and go. There are always going to be times where nerves come and the energy builds up, and you kind of breathe and you breathe it out, and then you commit to it.
So I got a quick question for you, Angela. In regards to writing, where is your inspiration for you writing? Is it through life experiences, or do you write for something that you may see happening today, and then it reminds you of something from the past, and you use that as material, and then you just work with that? Like that's my big question.
All of the above, but mainly observational.
Okay.
And life stories. So I have stories to share, but mainly I have an observation about this story. So like I would tell a story about my dad and how he's frugal and how he loves coupons. And I tell this story about how this one time my dad ordered a pizza. We went to go pick it up. We stopped at the grocery store to get a coupon first. And I was like, is there like a coupon book at the, remember they used to have coupon books at the grocery store? I was like, he's gonna go get a coupon book before we get a pizza? Like, I don't understand. He's like, I need to go get a coupon. I'll be right back. And I see my dad walking up and he don't even go in the store. He's over where the shopping carts are and he's just roaming the shopping carts because he's looking for somebody's receipt that they left with a coupon on the back.
Wow.
Because that's how cheap he is. He goes, finds a receipt. I'm sitting in the car watching, and then he holds it up and he goes, got one. He drove to the grocery store to scavenger hunt for a $3 off round table pizza is what he did. And so that's a story that happened, but it's the observation of like how my dad is frugal. He's so cheap. Like he would go out of his way to save $3. So it's my observation of what my dad is doing, how he is, his personality, and I have an opinion about my dad's actions. So I'm telling you that story, but it's a lot of like my opinion and how I'm telling it to you and describing who he is and that kind of thing. So it's observation, personal stories for sure. The more personal you can make something, the better, the more unique it is, because there's only one you. There's only like if you're gonna, everybody has a story about marriage because a lot of people get married, right? But nobody is you in your marriage. Nobody is your wife in your marriage. Like whatever it is, like you are the only yous. So your perspective on this marital quarrel is going to be a little different than this comedian's perspective on his marital quarrel. You guys are both talking about marriage. You're both talking about a fight you got in. You're both talking about when you got home from work. But it's different because your personality is like this, her personality is like this. So it's going to be different. The more personal you make it, the more unique the story is. So it's stands out from the rest. And the more unlikely it is for someone to say, hey, that's my joke. You took that from me. Oh, really? This is your joke? So your wife does, you know what I mean? Like, no.
Yeah, I get it.
Bruh.
Yeah, just because they thought about it doesn't make it their joke. And that's the other thing that comedians do. They'll come up to you and go, yo, I thought about that yesterday, bro. Yo, you took my whole thought. And it's like, what? How did I don't know what's in your head, stupid ass. How am I supposed to? Yesterday, you better leave that alone, bro. Like, what? I can't leave your thoughts alone. I thought about it and I did it on stage. You were just too late on the trigger. That's what that was. And so we talked about that in the very, very beginning. It was the way we were going to develop material was each person was going to have a story to tell. Emil different from William different from Rob, and so on and so forth. And I got to be honest with you, everyone has come with a completely different, approach. And it's awesome because I never once had to said, wow, Rob, your bit sounds like Emil's bit, so you got to kind of curtail it this way. No, they've been sticking to their stories, and the uniqueness is just there because it's impossible. Yeah, everybody had a grandmother like me. My grandmother just happened to be the most gangster one in the neighborhood that did X, Y, and Z. And again, when I become her, you couldn't tell the difference between me and her on stage, right? Because all you see on stage is my grandmother when I become her, right? I got the bata, it's not there, but in the way I describe her vividly, that's what you walk away with. You go, my God, Mark's grandmother's my grandmother. My grandmother wore bata, slippers, she didn't snap it right. And my grandmother always missed one of the snaps. But that's the way I color my painting is, I want you to see her on stage with me. And I can't say it, I can't say it strong enough to say when you're doing your act out, similar to the way Angela does hers, I want to see that person on stage with you. And that is the far reach that I'm trying to get from you guys. And as delicately as I put it, which is act out's got to be big. What I really want to say is that person, I want to see that person on stage with you. When you say, hey guys, so my grandmother's crazy. Here she is, you know what I mean? And then boom, you are grandma and you are full tilt, or you are your dad and you're full tilt. I've introduced inanimate objects that have spoken back. And the beauty about an inanimate object is that you can make that voice whatever you want it to be. And that's just hilarious. It's just funny. And so I love that what the truth is, the exploration is the fun in the journey, right? So as you explore the different characters, Jose talks about the people at his job, and my my request to him is to make those characters as big as he wants, because nobody works with Jose but Jose, so who's gonna argue with you that Shyla's at work and she's like, excuse me, Jose, can you fix my computer again? And she's just this annoying winch at his job that doesn't leave him alone. And she follows him around. And again, it could be a little bit more than the computer stuff. She might have a little thing for Jose, but the point is that she doesn't leave the man alone. And I find that to be a funny quirk, and he can make Shyla whoever he wants her to be, and highlight the annoying qualities to make the joke more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because there are steps to this. So again, I absolutely, like I said, I just want you guys to believe in the act outs. And then what you do is, once you become that person, just bring them on stage with you. Say, Mom, come here. I want everybody to meet you, And in my mind, that's how it is. The second I say, I did this joke the other day. My grandfather is old school. My grandfather came home drunk every Friday, and he'd come home at 2, 3 in the morning and make noise. He would make noise drunk. Like most men nowadays, if we had something to drink and we come in the house, we come in, you can't hear a footstep. We are trying not to be found out at all. We come in, all the keys are in our hands. The shoes came off in the car. We are making absolutely not one sound. But my grandfather always came in and whistled 3 o'clock in the morning. Bring me another beer, man, you mother. And he 3 o'clock in the morning. Anyways, it was but when I do that, the whistle and everything, I'm him. You don't see me anymore.
Okay.
You see my grandfather in full tilt, full motion. Like Angela said, I stand like him. I even, it's crazy, but I see out of his eyes for that moment while I'm on stage. I'm no longer me. I'm him so bad that if you ask me a question from the audience, I would answer as him. You understand? That's how full embodiment. I'm sure Angela feels the same way when she's that character. And you say, "Hey, nail lady, what do what time do you get off work?" She's not gonna answer like Angela. She's gonna answer because she's full embodiment. You understand? I've seen her work, and anything she does, it's instant. You did the joke about being in England when we did the special, and it was just instant. It was like they do this and they do that, and she turns it on and turns it off, and she becomes Angela. And and it's like, again, it's poetry in motion. We get to watch it, be alive. So it's the act out is not cheap. I know sometimes, another comedian, they'll say, Mark, Mark just does the act outs. He doesn't have jokes or something like that. And that's, that's a jealousy. That's a jealousy thing and an envy, because they're unwilling to make that same commitment. You know what I mean? They would rather talk dirty. Yeah.
They don't have the acting gift, the act out gift. They don't have the visual of it to see it and then act it
Matt,
out.
I sent you a text.
Not their strength, There's and to have a really great you about to get in trouble. Who's that girl? Who you talking to?
No, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I thought you were in a comedy class. Oh, that's a comedy class? Oh, all of a sudden you got girls in your comedy class?
Yes, she ain't know. Oh, Jesus.
Who you want FaceTime with? But who you want FaceTime with?
Oh, Jake from State Farm? Okay.
Jesus. I'm sorry.
All right, let me go on with questions real quick. I don't want to take too much of Angela's time. Anybody else? Emil, William, you got any questions for Angela?
I have one question for Angela. Who did you look up to? Like, do you have any role models?
When I first started, my first comedy album I ever owned was George Lopez. And because I saw myself in him, in his stories. His grandma was my grandma. His cousins were my cousins. Like, I heard myself, I heard my stories in his life. And I related, I connected. And so George Lopez was definitely the first comedian where I could see myself in. And then as I became a comedian, comics that I started to
It's
really
teachers.
admire was storytellers
He is more.
and act out people like Ellen DeGeneres. My favorite thing about Ellen DeGeneres was that she was just talking to you, and the next thing you know, she's full on in her bit, and you didn't even see it coming. Like all of a sudden, you're in it with her, and you're like, "Oh, I thought she was just talking, and now we're in her story, and we didn't even know." Like she sneaks up on you like that, and I loved how she could do that. And she's just telling a story, and then all of a sudden, she acts out tripping over the thing, and then her act outs. She did this one joke where she act out how when people trip over something, how they respond to it, and how there's the different types. Like you can trip over it, and then you go back and you look at it and you go, "Oh, there's a thing there," and make sure anybody's watching. There's a thing there, and it's so like the things that we do when we trip over something, and it was just so seamless to me, and she made it look so easy. So those are two people that I really admire.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
Tony, Emil? Rob?
You're muted, Rob.
Muted? Unmute him. Sorry, Rob. Hold on.
That's okay. How long have you been doing comedy?
I started 2000. I actually started by taking a class as well. So I started right where y'all are. And I took my class in 2006.
Wow.
And then 2007 is when I really actually started working.
Wow. That's great. Thank you. All right.
So I just want to say, honestly, Angela, in closing, really, you are by far like one of the best comedians to watch do comedy. And there's so many layers to it. It's not just you're funny. She's a clean comedian. So I have a question. Do you always do all of your comedy clean, or have you ever had a moment where you were just like, I'm gonna drop it because I have to? Like, tell me, because I have to know, because okay, so, you know, my story might be different than yours. And that is, I grew up hard, right? I grew up in the Bronx on a harder level. I was in law enforcement. I just had a different way of operating in general, right? I used to curse it by command, right? So I used to tell somebody to stop effing doing something because they wouldn't stop otherwise. You know what I mean? And so when I started doing stand-up, I started doing stand-up in the Bronx, and so on. And so the rooms were so hard. They were these, they were black rooms, and they were like, and people were, they looking at you like, man, you better be funny. I'm gonna kill your ass tonight. And so it was almost, I hate to say it was like a defense mechanism as opposed to, and so all that came on stage with me. And honestly, I don't think I curse as much, but I do use the curses almost as a part of the script. And so even though I'm able to do full clean sets as I work for corporate and on ships and whatever, I just wanted to know your angle, because I know there's, here we have fresh minds in comedy. Like what, I want them to know, because Dean was on, I think last week, and Dean's a clean comedian. And I just want to know your take, because I've never seen you drop one. So I just want to know your insight on language and how to use it, and using, curses sort of in your set.
First is do you, and do you well. So if you got a potty mouth in real life, do you on stage, then you got a potty mouth, because that's going to be authentic to you. It's not going to be like you're relying on the F word to be your punchline. Because I've seen comics do that, and where you're like, oh, you're actually not funny if you don't cuss. Like the F word is your punchline. That's not a punchline. Like that's not creative. Like you just say it funny, but you didn't write F. Like you didn't make that word up. You just say it funny. So that's not even a joke. But I will say there is power in being able to do a clean show, because you get to do corporate gigs. Corporate gigs is good money. You get to do TV spots. TV spots can be good exposure, but you have to be able to do it clean. But don't try to be a clean comedian all the time if that's not who you are in your life. You got to do you. For me personally, when I first started doing stand-up, I was very Christian. And I was like, I want to say cuss words in real life. So why I need to say cuss words on stage? So it was very easy for me to not cuss at all because I didn't cuss in real life. Now, let me tell you, I deconstructed a little bit. Fungula came out. She's not so conservative no more. So now in real life, got a little bit of a potty mouth sometimes. So now it's a deliberate choice on stage to not drop an F-bomb or whatever, because I know my audience now, and I know people enjoy the fact that I have a clean show, and that's why they paid and they brought their daughter and they brought their son and they brought their grandma to my show because they know they're not going to be offended or embarrassed in front of them. And I appreciate that and I respect that. So I feel like as the years go on in my career, I probably will get to a place where I'll like drop here and there, kind of like Jim Gaffigan. Jim Gaffigan does like a full clean show, but then he'll drop like one F-bomb or he'll say like shit or something like that in his whole hour. So he's not the dirty comic, but he's also not 100% clean. Like if you listen, he'll drop like a cuss here and there, you know? So I feel like my craft will probably start to evolve a little bit, but I will always nurture the audience that got me to where I am today, which is the audience that appreciates a clean show.
Yeah. So I just want you guys to know that for a reference to when we're kind of COVID over or partly over and you guys get to do some shows in the real world, you know, not on Zoom, you know, that you are who you are, and you don't have to be completely clean, but there's absolutely value in keeping it minimal, using the better parts of language to communicate you're funny. That's how I look at stand-up. When I hate to say this because this is my truth, the 10 o'clock show on a Friday night is the thorn in every comedian's side. It just is. And do people pay at 10 o'clock on Friday night? Absolutely. So we have a show to do. But it has become the show that I want to come out of my character and just walk on every table and kick everybody in the back of the head because they're tired from working all day Friday. Then they eat, and then what do? They drink until they can't drink no more. Now, is the club happy? Absolutely. Is the first 10, 20 minutes fantastic? Absolutely. After that, we call it no man's land because now they get sleepy, full, and more sleepy, and then they get really drunk, and then they become people that they don't even recognize. You know, every joke is, oh shit, yo, he funny, bro. Yo, that's my girl right there. Yo, Marvy ever like, and then all of a sudden, every punchline is being like pre-destroyed by some asshole. I'm sorry to say that in the audience. And so what happens to me is I have a great 8 o'clock show. It runs, I drop one F-bomb and one shit. And then all of a sudden, the 10 o'clock show, I've MF'd probably 67 times in the first 11 minutes because I'm running out of patience with the audience. I'm like, I hate all of you. I don't even want to be here with you anymore. So I'm just going to say what I want now. I'm not even going to curtail anything. I hate to say it, but that's how that's who I am after 10 o'clock. You know, even I'm a little tired. But they're shot to shit, you know. They're 10 p.m. It's now. I go on stage at 11:15. Like they're done. They're like sitting there like that. and you know, I've had. Look, I'm being honest. I've seen a dude sound asleep, drunk to the point where he's snort. I could hear him snort. He's in the third, and I've had that in my real life as a comedian, and at one of the most posh clubs, Caroline's on Broadway. Not he paid $42.50 to see me, and he's sound as Why? Because he decided he's going to make it a Henny night. And he hadn't had Henny in probably three months. And now he's, like I said, these guys are firemen. They're sanitation workers. I love everybody who comes to see me. They just don't know who they are and they go overboard. And so, yeah, I've had that where I'm taping Caesar and Laura. They've been there recording me, and the first show they're like, "Oh my God, we have a gem. We're gonna sell this one. Everybody's gonna love this one, Mark." The 10 o'clock show, they're like, "Yeah, we turned it off after about 16 minutes because we didn't even recognize you. Who are you?" Like I became, Robin Harris at some point. I don't give a shit about you, motherfucker. And I'm like, who am I? Why did I do that? So I understand Angela's, viewpoint, because the audience sometimes they drag it out of you, man. I mean, Angela performs literally everywhere in the world. I've performed in some of the most beautiful places, and they just, late night, man, becomes, they say the freaks come out at night, but so do the hecklers. And, and I don't mean hecklers like they're sometimes purposefully heckling. They're just heckling because they're just done. They're just done. They're just done. They're just done.
I have a question for Angela.
Yes.
So can you share like some of the stories of when you started out, or when you, like, how was it, your experience from where these guys are now till today, just a little bit of your story coming up.
I feel like took me a while to find my point of view and be authentic with myself. In the beginning, when I first started comedy, I was doing what I thought people would think is funny. And I knew I was good at accents. So I would portray my parents as broken English, Spanish speaking, typical Mexican parents, because I could do an accent really well. So I could get the whole audience laughing at this accent. However, neither one of my parents speak Spanish. I'm 4th generation Mexican. I was a phony because I knew I could make them laugh with this, ay, mija, the accent, I can do it. I can do the accent, but it's not authentic, right? So I could do the bit and it would be funny, but it wasn't authentic. It wasn't me. It wasn't, I was trying. So for instance, I'll give you an example. I'll do a character where that's like this, like chola character, like, hey, like she talks like this a little bit. And she's like she hella likes flaming hot Cheetos, like all the time. And I can jump into that voice. When I first started, I would just do that and be that person on stage, because one, I was doing the Latino nights, because that's the only night I could get. So I knew, at least in California, that's what the comics sounded like going up before me. That's what they did and talked and how they were. So I was like, well, that's what they like, so let me be that. But that wasn't me. When I started fully embracing who I am, that I don't even speak Spanish, when I started making fun of myself for not speaking Spanish, when I started writing jokes, like I got Rosetta Stone on my computer since 2006, I'm still on level 1. Like I don't even know what's happening. And that is when I really started to find my voice and my point of view, when I started being authentically myself, true to myself, being honest, even if it meant being a little vulnerable, even if it meant I'm standing up in Latino night and there's, 150 Latinos there, and I say, I don't speak Spanish. Part of me was like, oh my God, they're gonna be like so disappointed, and like, what kind of Latino doesn't speak Spanish? Well, then let me just own that. So then I would get on stage and I would say, yeah, I don't even speak Spanish. And then I'd wait and I go, I know, I'm embarrassed, don't look at me. And so I would act out what I thought they were already thinking of me. And if they were thinking that, now they're laughing that I addressed it. You know what I'm saying? So my early days was me trying to figure out who I was on stage, and then finally embracing that. That's kind of how my journey to starting and getting where I am.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, the hardest part, this is the thing, I too started from a comedy class in New York City, just quickly, and then I want to let Angela go. Um, but I did the same thing, Angela. I was always good at dialects and celebrity impressions, and I thought that was the key to my career. I even took voiceover classes even before I did stand up because I thought that's where I belong. I belonged behind a microphone, making believe that I was someone else. And what stand up taught me was that I had a value. I didn't have to be anybody but me. It took years. It took years. It doesn't happen in the first 3 months. It takes years for you to embrace, like I said earlier in this class, all your shortcomings, all the things that you've been through, your story, embracing that story and saying, this is my fuel for my comedy. Because we all have all kind of issues, right? And no matter where we go, I always use Jay-Z as an example. No matter where Jay-Z goes as a billionaire, he started out dealing drugs in Brooklyn. And so he has that he always has his story to go back on. His music is about, his drug corners in Washington Heights and blah, blah. He can't do music about being a billionaire. Nobody gonna buy that. They want that story. They want, how did you get here? And so that's what we continue to use. I know I do. I always take an experience I have now and go, but my grandmother, when she did it completely different. Like I yelled at my son and then I sat down with him and had a whole conversation of how he can be a better young man. When my grandmother really just hit me with something and told me, don't act stupid. And that's it. There wasn't a conversation afterwards to make me feel better about what just happened. My grandmother was like, mira, estúpido, don't do that again, and sit down. And that was it. And I was expected to be a better man because of how she hit me, not because of the lesson, So I want, you guys have your own stories to, to work from. The problem is, when I started stand up, what I'm trying to show you guys is exactly what I wasn't shown in the beginning and why it took me 4 years to find my voice. You understand? Angela, like I didn't get that. I didn't get look in you. I got kind of like a very pasty, hey, just try to write your funny thoughts down and then you're going to go on stage and then you're going to work it, and then it's going to be funny and blah, blah, blah. And of course, after the first time you bomb is when you go, man, they didn't show me really anything. They just, they just try to find where my funny comes from, right? But that doesn't mean just because you are funny doesn't mean that you can automatically know how to write funny. It's two different, they're two so separately different things. Writing, knowing how to write the funny down and then knowing how to perform it or knowing how to edit it and take all those extra things. I mean, that shit is hard. And no one, I said, all right, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to work on all these different things so that when you go out, you're good. You're ready to be good at it, and it's going to take trial and error, but at least you're ready. You have a knapsack full of good things in it. And not how like I went out where I was like, all right, I know I learned, I know what you taught me, but I got to go out and just go ahead and do this because it's just whatever. So I don't know how your first class was, but was it helpful for you to write or become the Angela that you wanted to be? Or was it just like me, like, all right, I'm just going to have to do this thing?
It gave me technique it gave me language to what I was already doing. So I have an innate comedic timing within me. And I learned language to what I was already doing so that I could come back to it. So I'd be like, okay, before I took this class, like I made people laugh, but I don't know why I made them laugh. Like, why was that funny? And then I took a class and the class taught me it was funny because you did the rule of 3, because you gave them 3 examples and the timing of 3 is funny. I didn't know that that's what I was doing. But then this teacher gave me language. And I learned, like, I would tell people a story and I would set it up and be like, imagine if blah, blah, blah. And I would paint the picture for them. I didn't realize that was another technique that I was using. When I say, imagine this, and I start painting a picture, I'm literally painting a picture with my words. And I didn't realize that that's what I'm doing. So I have this innate gift. And all of you here have something in you as well that made you say, I'm going to sign up for a class. So hopefully you will take what Mark is teaching you and give yourself language for what's already in there, what you already naturally, organically do. And now you have these tools in your tool belt. You can say, I'm naturally funny, but I can use this tool today, or I can use this tool today. Like, this joke is good in this, but what if I do this? Imagine if, or what if I do a rule of 3 with it? Sometimes a rule of 3 is not necessary in this joke. So put that tool back. You know what I mean? So I hope that you guys will take everything that Mark is teaching you and apply it to your own gift that you have, and then run with it. See what happens. You never know.
Absolutely.
One day you could be on a Zoom class with giving your own interview. You know what I'm saying?
That's what they're supposed to do with it, right? They're supposed to find it and then hopefully give back, you know, at some point, right? That would be beautiful. I'm going to let Angela go. Angela, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me, guys. Bye, Mark. Love you. Bye.
All right.
Thank you, guys. It's late. I know I asked you guys to give me a little bit of extra time because I wanted to get through your sets. I wanted you guys to meet, honestly, one of the funniest female comedians, I think, walking on the planet. How is she my friend? I got to be honest. I don't know. Some people will say, Mark, you're pretty funny. I don't know about all that. I just know that in February, I make 20 years of hitting this hammer against the wall. Have I broken the wall down just yet? Probably not, but I'm gonna keep swinging for the fences. I appreciate you guys being a part of the 5-week, beginners class. Unfortunately, it's not everything that you need to go out and be a comedian. And so what we have is we have some more classes. An intermediate class is not like this in that we're just going to be working. We're just going to be working comedy. It'll be your comedy that we're working on, not mine. But what I'm going to do is, I wanted to do it this time. I just didn't have time. I don't want to make this about me. But what I want to do in front of you guys is actually write some stuff and bring it to you guys so that you guys have an opportunity to see me work as well. So in that intermediate class,
Yes.
that's what it's going to look like, where we're all working sort of together. And nobody stands out because everybody's doing the same thing. We're all getting to 5 minutes that we're going to be able to perform. You've already done this class. The next class is going to be a little bit more expensive because that class it's just different. And it works differently. You know what I mean? So that class is $299. Everybody in here right now will get the class at $250. All right. And then there's another class which is advanced, and that's where we get 10 minutes. Okay, so your intermediate class, we get this 5 minutes solid. The advanced class is to get 10 minutes. When I say 10 minutes, I don't mean 10 minutes of bullshit. It'll be 10 minutes that when this opens up, you're going to be on stage with. You're going to be on stage with either 5 minutes at Stand Up New York, or you're going to be on at 10 minutes in a room in Harlem. Wherever you are, you're gonna go, yo, I'm gonna go to this room in Harlem, or Dino's gonna say, I'm gonna go to Havana Cafe when they open back up, and I'm gonna work these 10 minutes there. What I promise you, wherever you are in New York or wherever you are, I can get you on stage wherever you are. So, I make a call. I tell my people, hey, my boy Jose is gonna go over there. I want his name.
Big Joe.
That's it. And they'll have your name on the list to do 5 minutes and or 6 or 7. And like I said, it becomes hard for you guys because now you got to figure out, man, 7, I have 10. Now, how do I edit this down to be a perfect 7 minutes? That's what you do. That's what you do. The intermediate class is also going to cover, how you're supposed to behave in a comedy club. Those things people don't know. They don't know how to behave once they get to a stand-up New York or the Improv in Hollywood. There's an etiquette that's required of you once you get there. And those intermediate and advanced class, that's what we're going to be pushing. The difference with the advanced class for everyone is I'm going to get into how do you host an event. Don't need to do that here because a lot of you don't even have a set. Once we get to that advanced class, why do you have an advanced class? How are you funny on social media? I'm going to teach you that. How do I get verified on social media? I'm going to teach you that. How do I get followers? How do my followers get followers? How do I get people to lean on me for their comedy, for their laugh? And I would like to show you that. I can't teach you that. I can show you that. Caesar and Laura are going to be a big part of the advanced class because they are my internet folks. They are website. They developed the Mark Vieira website, markvieira.com. So you have you have a wealth of knowledge on how to do this. They're the algorithm people, not me. I don't want you to think I know how to do this. They taught me that. I had 10,000 followers when I came to them. I'm working on 40,000 since. And it's only been a year and change since we've been working together. So it's with their tutelage to me, but I share that resource with you. So if any of you are like, yo, Mark, I need a website. Yo, I'm getting booked. I'm doing this. I'm going to say, here's Caesar and Laura. Obviously, they've been working with you guys during this class, so they're going to hook you up. So I want you guys to just think about this. I give the whole class, all 3 classes for $600. You already paid 2. So you only have 4, and you will get the other 2, and you're going to get them at, $200. So there is no price hike if you just pay for every class, and then you're in for the next 3. How does it work? We're going to start on January 16th. So January 16th is a Monday. 18th, sorry. January 18th is the intermediate class. We can't jump, so we're going to go February, middle of February, right around, is when we're going to start the advanced class. Next month, I'm going to try to do this at 8 p.m. because a lot of people were trying to hit me up and say, yo, bro, I don't get out of work until 8, so I can't be in the class. I felt really bad about that. So for me to open it up a little bit, I'm going to do the class from 8 to 9:15. You guys know how I do. There will be guests every Monday. There's always going to be a guest that I'll bring on for questions. Or I might save it for just the last class. I'll let you guys tell me what works and what doesn't. Again, I wanted this beginners class to be something where you guys leave and go, Mark's not bullshitting me. He's not telling me something that isn't what I call trade, a trade work. This is what we do in comedy, meaning Angela does what I do what she does. She just does it her way, and I do it my way. But when it comes to the fabric, we all start off with the same fabric. We start off with premises, setups, act outs, and punchlines. And if you don't know how to do that and learn how to add tags at the end, you won't know how to make a comedy set. So when we continue to develop your 5 minutes, everybody needs to be on that same page. And that's why the intermediate class will not have me talking for 45 minutes about how comedy is supposed to work. You guys already know, you're already writing it. Now we just need to clean up those 5 minutes. So every week is a performance. And every week I get to say, yo, this is how, you did great. Add this, or I want feedback from everybody, right? Intermediate now, Jose can say, yo, Dino, I love what you did with that. What about this? That's how the intermediate has grown. Instead of being the beginners where everybody's just like, yo, let Mark talk, because we don't, now we're becoming more family, and we're gonna add people. I already have a guy that's been doing comedy 3 years. He's joining that intermediate class because he wants to develop his set. He thinks his set sucks. Well, when he comes here, we're gonna let him know your set, right? We don't say it sucks. We say we need to work. There's some jokes I need to work on, of course, right? This shit's never perfect. I want you guys to do the same. Feel free to do the same thing. So you have until January 18th, that Monday, to let me know what you want to do, how you want to do it. But I want you all to come back, obviously, because I would love to see where you go with this. Look, Rob, I'm gonna say this out loud so that nobody thinks that I'm some kind of that I want to take from you. I only want to give you, but this reciprocal. You know what I mean? It's not I give and then you guys just sit there. And Rob, you may not need me for the advance because your set is already in your head. You may not need it. I want you to know, I don't want you to leave here not comfortable with 10 minutes that's fire. So if you say, Mark, I'm going to be yours until the 15th class, then know that at 15, you got 10 minutes that's going to sell your brand. I'm not writing for you, Jose, as I'm not writing for Dino. You guys are writing for yourselves, and I'm here to clean that shit up nice and make it and put a bow on it so that when you go out, you're selling the character that you are plus the characters that you introduce. That's all I want from this class. I don't want anything else but for you guys to go out into the real world of comedy. And some of you may not be performers. Some of you may be comedy writers. Some of you may not be on radio because you're just a great personality. Everybody has a way, a route in this. Not everybody has a Mark Viero and Angela Johnson route. But again, through writing and performing, you realize this is who I am. Like, this is who I am. I want to go out and perform. Look, I know the guy who helped me write my TV show was a stand-up comic and said, yo, I was too nervous when I got on stage. I felt like throwing up. I got the shits. He became a writer for like the biggest shows on television, Mad About You, the Michael J. Fox show where he was in he was the head writer of the Mark Vieira show. I just want you guys to know, he understood me because he understood the language of comedy. He was a comedian. He just hated performing in front of people. He became a behind the scenes guy. What I'm saying is, you may see yourself in that. I could tell Rob ain't that, and I know Dino's not that because I've performed along with them. So I understand that they are performers. They want to go out there. They want an audience, and they want to go, God, I got to tell you about my day. Holy shit, my wife's a pain in the ass. Wow, my fucking cat just took a shit in my coffee. Blah, 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 right? So I want you guys to know that there's a million ways to skin this cat, but it starts right here in the writer's room. This is not a performer's room. This is a writer's room. This is where we learn how to write, where we learn how to edit, and where we learn how to get funny on paper, and then we transfer that to say, hey, Mark, man, yo, da-da. And again, at the end of the road here, again, it's a different world because I don't know when clubs will open back up, right? In New York, they're not open. So
Right.
we're in a shit storm. So
Yeah.
I just want you guys to know, man, the class evolves as you guys evolve. I can't do this by myself. So you guys have to want to say, hey, man, I need to see if I can manage this, right? Can I manage the comedy at the end? If that's what you want, then join all the damn classes and let's get to work. We start January 18th. You guys hit me up. Now you all have my emails. You have my Instagrams. You have everything. Just hit me up and say, yo, Mark, let's get to it. And we'll get you signed up January 18th, 8 p.m. And I'm going to make you guys all on the schedule. And I can't say it. If I never see you guys again, whoever it is, know that I love you and I appreciate my time with you. Thank you guys so much for hanging with me, man. Thank you. And thank you for being so cordial to my comedy friends.
We're gonna create a private Facebook group, and you guys will get an invite on your email soon where, as the classes grow and as more people join, you guys will be that family, and Mark will be obviously the moderator, and you guys can kind of work together, follow each other's career throughout time, because once you're part of this group, it is a little bit of like a family. I mean, I've listened and I've learned from each and every one of you myself, and it's hilarious. It's been awesome. Like these five classes has been really cool to watch you guys grow from the first class. And if you watch the videos yourselves, because I recorded everything, and I sent you guys the link of all the recordings. Watch those. Like, I know you were part of it, but watch them so that you yourself can see what you did 5 weeks ago versus what you're doing now. And it's crazy, dude. 'Cause I've watched them obviously like a lot, and you can see each and every one of you growing. And it was just like, this was, not just proof of concept for what Mark wanted to do, but I can see the impact that it's really going to have for everybody that joins. So, we're going to start a private Facebook group. It'll be just one private Facebook group for everybody Mark Vieira that he curates. Talking funny, that's what we're going to call it. And you guys will get an invite. You guys will be the first ones there, but it'll grow as time goes.
Yeah. Again, without saying any more, and I want to let you guys go, man. The last thing I'll say is Happy New Year, man. And seriously, thank you, Dino, Emil, William, Tony, Big Joe, my man, Rob, just thank you guys. Happy New Year. Happy 2021. I need 2021 to bring comedy back into my life because it's been such a hard thing for me to be existing without that thing that I love the most,
I'm going to ride it out with you, man. I'm going to ride the rest of the classes out with you, bro.
Yo, and like I said, if you guys want to ride out, just know
Absolutely.
I'm working for you guys. You know what I mean? And you have a resource in me and my friends. And that's what I wanted to show you, that I'm not just here alone, but I got backup, and my backup is some dope ass comedians. So
Yo, Mark, before you leave, bro, another thing, Rob Stapleton is a good friend of yours. And when I first started doing comedy like 7 years ago, he was at Dinosaurs, and I wanted to perform at Dinosaurs. You know what he told me? He said, you don't want to perform here. I said, why? He said, you'll never know how good you are if you perform in the hood. He said, they come out to hang out, drink, and talk. You got to go downtown where the white people at. He said, then you'll know how good you are. Don't start in the hood. Yo, he told me that, Rob Stapleton.
Yeah. And listen, I didn't get that memo, right? So like an idiot, I was in the hood trying to make these people that didn't give two shits about me make them
Right.
laugh. It was the hardest thing, but
Yes,
also
man.
the rewarding thing when the laughs started to come, and they came.
Yeah.
You know, they came sparingly, but every laugh gave me ammunition to come back
Right.
strong.
Right.
I hate to say it, bombing gives you, not doing well at a show gives
You
you,
fall forward.
yeah, you fall forward. You know, it's hard and it sucks, but you learn, right? Failure and
Yeah.
Rob said this to me a long time ago. He said, Mark, being comfortable in the uncomfortable is what we do. So
Yeah.
if you guys, listen, this is, and Caesar just let me know this. I don't know and I can't see everything. If you guys have input, you guys have anything that you guys want to write to me to make, remember, somebody's coming after you guys to be in the beginner's workshop. If you guys have anything that you want to write to me and say, hey, Mark, man, I think you should go this route or do this, or maybe talk about that or talk about this. I'm accepting. You guys were there. You guys witnessed it. I know Caesar and I and Laura, we had to figure out how to send these videos out because it's actually pretty tough on Zoom to get 2 hours worth of video to you guys. It's not as easy as you think. And so we had to figure that out. And now we have that down packed. So for the next class, if someone misses a class, we can get them that link immediately or probably a day after, 24 hours after we're done editing and stuff. But, if you guys have any feedback, obviously, always send that in, and I'm gonna probably hit you up individually to send a quick 30-second feedback about about the class that I'm gonna use for promotional stuff for the next beginners workshop. So, just like a 30-second, hey, Mark, we love the class, I hated the class, whatever it is, I want to make sure that I get you guys on, on video saying, and you can send it on my Snapchat or Instagram. But we'll do that. So again, thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. All right,
Thank you, Mark. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yes, sir.
Happy New Year, guys.
Later.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yes,
Later,
sir.
everybody.
Happy New Year,
Congrats,
everyone.
guys.
All right.
Peace, y'all.
All right.
Have a nice one.